Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm here to tell you about a brand new role-playing game that's just come out. It's an independent role-playing game, and as you guys know, I'm a big fan of obviously game design, but in particular grassroots game design, the little guys, making games sort of in sort of one or two man or woman shops. That's really sort of exciting and unique and quite and interesting to me. So the game is called Claustrophobia. It's published by Rising Phoenix Games and written by Rodney Sloan, and it's a role-playing game, a subterranean role-playing game. So what is the game all about? Well, essentially, in the game, the players play garden gnomes who've had enough of the surface world, and they decide to get aboard the HMS Keaton, which is like a subterranean sort of mining submarine thing, and travel below the surface on a journey towards the Earth's core, the inner core of the planet Earth, which is obviously going to be fraught with danger and fraught with sort of crazy, exciting situations. And the game is really, really nice. It's very rules light, actually. It is a sort of maybe 50 pages. I'm not exactly sure on the final page count, but it's a small number of pages. It's a great little clever design. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the game, the design, what it's actually all about, and how the game works. It uses a very, very clever mechanism of sort of using a dice pool, and this dice pool is like they're your resources for all the tests that you're going to do on your journey. So at the start of the game, and starting characters get 10 dice. So you have a big pile of 10 d6s in front of you, and when you're making tests, it's a simple dice rolling. You roll 4s, 5s, or 6s count as successes. Simple as that. You get normal rolls where it's just your 4, 5, or 6, that's how successful you are. And you also get opposed rolls where you need to get more successes than an opponent. For example, in certain combat situations and that sort of thing. But basically, your garden gnomes are on board this subterranean sort of vehicle, and you're traveling towards the center of the journey, center of the Earth, going on these adventures, fighting creatures, just having a really, really wild and interesting and unique time. So the game and the way the characters are created is there's 3 primary spheres, which are basically your stats. You've got your mental sphere, your physical sphere, and your social sphere. And those are numbers. They all start at 0, and when you start character creation, you start adding numbers to those. And those numbers, it's such a clever system. They represent how many dice you can use when you're attempting a task. So a mental task, you may have a stat of 2. That means you can use up to 2 dice to do that if you want to. But the clever thing about this game is those dice that you use to make those tests, and once you make the test, that dice is discarded, it's gone. Those dice also count as your life or your vitality. So as you're playing, you've got to think, well, how badly do I want to risk potentially damaging myself to make this test? Because once those dice are all gone, your character dies. So you can regain the dice, obviously, by docking and waiting and that sort of thing. But there's a real sort of serious danger and the sort of feeling of danger and imminent sort of tragedy and claustrophobia that really sets in. The game, for being such a small rules-light game, it's incredibly thematic. And it's a standard role-playing affair where one player plays the Game Master, or Doom Master as it's called in Claustrophobia, and the other players play the garden gnomes, sort of journeying to the center of the Earth, as it were. So very, very, very interesting game. I love that it's quick to play. I love that it has a very, very clever advancement system. So if you do want to level up, it does work, and you can do that. But the way that the levels are sort of, or the experience is dished out, is not necessarily about, oh, you killed this monster and he's worth X XP, and you did this monster and he's worth... No, it's about like who was the most exciting role player. There's like categories where experience are awarded based on how well you actually role played. And role playing is something that's quite heavily encouraged in Claustrophobia. You think when a character dies, when they hit those 0 dice, you need to act out and describe their death in quite an elaborate and sort of lavish way, and do it in sort of a very, very dramatic style. And that's something that's encouraged in the game, is this sense of real role-playing and real storytelling in a fun, sort of rules-light, exciting little game. The style of the book is very nicely laid out, very nice sort of high contrast, black and white punchy illustrations. And I really enjoyed reading it, and I'm very excited to get it to the table. And if you're excited to get it to the table, the designer, Rodney, has been very kind to give us a discount code, which is available to the first 10 users who click on it and use it. It's in the description down below. It'll give you $2 off the PDF on DriveThruRPG. So I highly suggest you check it out. If small, independent, exciting little role-playing games are something that are of interest to you, I can't really recommend Claustrophobia highly enough. So thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.